Hello, welcome to the History of Music series. You have probably seen or heard of this kind of thing before. From what I have seen, many timelines don't start until after the classical period. If they do start earlier, it is brief and surface level. So, what I intend to do for this undertaking is to give a deep dive into the history of music and its players, supporters, influences, genres, and impacts. Not only do I want to focus on these details, but I also want to take a more global perspective to see how music develops in other non-Western areas. So if we're going to start at the beginning, let's start at the very beginning. Welcome again to the History of Music. When it comes to music, or anything for that matter, we can only go as far back as that which we have records of. The oldest record ever found was a clay tablet found in Sumer, dating back to around 2000 BC. It is a hymn honoring Lipit Ishtar, who was the fifth king of Sumer. However, this relic was lost. The oldest artifact we currently have is a 9-string lyre piece called Hurrian Hymn No. 6. It was written in cuneiform to the goddess Nikal, dated to approximately the 1300s BC. The record was found in Ugarit, Syria. A Syrian composer by the name of Malik Jundali put together an orchestral rendition inspired by this song. Have a listen to it below. For a more realistic version of what this hymn would sound like, Michael Levy has a variant here. Going to the 1st century AD, a musical piece carved onto a marble column marking an unmarked woman's grave was found in Greece. It's called the Sekilos Epitaph. The carving lists notes and how to play it on a lyre, as well as lyrics which include the following. Listen carefully to the music played as well. While you live, shine, have no grief at all. Life exists only for a short while, and time demands its toll. Now let us shift our focus to the area of the world where life seems to have started, the Middle East. For Middle Eastern classical music, the style, or genre if you will, is called maqam, or maqamat for plural. Musically, it starts with the bass note to set the key, jins, and proceeds to scale up to create the melodies. The music is usually played on a lyre-type instrument called an oud. An example of what this sounds like can be heard here. This music had been played for a long time but came into notice around the 10th century. Another instrument used in makamat was the kanun. Its design came from Turkey and is similar to a dulcimer. Strings are plucked on a tablet and can be whammied by small levers. Here's an example. Parts of the music of this area is just made with the voice. It's called mawal. The versions of this are the following. Huda were travel songs used in camel caravans. You can think of it like cowboy rancher songs to pass the time. For wartime, Rina were songs used to hype up troops before charging into battle. These variants were influenced by the then booming Byzantine and Persian empires. Soon Islam swept through the Middle East and heavily influenced music. It became a method of transcending one to a higher state of being, becoming closer to Allah. Once this took root, a version of Mawal brought forth adhan, which are the Islamic calls to prayer. These can be heard even today, ringing from the mosques.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله.
In general, a couple of instruments came into focus, including drums and what is called a camanche, which is a 3-string violin. Take a listen, and really put yourself there at the edge of the desert or even the middle, with just these sounds echoing through the dunes. Another genre that popped up from this area includes dastgah, from Iran and Persia. I want to take the journey over to the Americas. At this time, the native indigenous people groups were making their way around the continent. The music of these people is hard to report to record, seeing that the culture is orally passed through generations. However, they hold strong to their traditions, and it hasn't changed much in terms of heritage music. We can presume with some accuracy that the traditional music performed and made today is not too far off from what it would have been back centuries. Music varies from tribe to tribe. Music in these cultures had a purpose.
Heyo, 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 hey now, Heyo, 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 hey now, Heyo, 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 Heyo,
Overall, music is an expression of the flow of life and the universe. Certain songs and types of songs are used for specific occasions. What comes to most people's minds is the powwow, which are for music and dance. Singers would gather around a big drum and vocalize to the beat, which is said to be the heartbeat of the tribe. Instruments are said to have a spirit. In some parts, flutes are uniquely made for each individual person. It is said that when a couple begin to court each other, they will start to harmonize with each other through their flutes. Territory songs for certain tribes were made by looking at the horizon and moving up and down with the hills and mountains in their song. This is especially genius, saying that if someone was in any other location, the horizon, and thus the song, would be totally different. Now we sweep over to the Far East to China. It is here where some of the oldest instruments have been found, flutes made from bird bones using their hollow structure to carve holes into. Confucius was the first to organize music, calling it elegant. Similar to the makam, the music style was referred to as yayue. For many years, this music was only played in the royal courts at the behest of nobility. We have records of this going back to the Zhou-Dan dynasties. From the Qin to Han dynasties, a music bureau was established to collect records of music. By the Sui Tang, schools were developed to spread and keep music alive. To the 11th century, Chinese kungu opera was developed. Next on to South Asia. In the 1st century, we have records of Vedic scripts, which were mantra prayers sung in the style of Gregorian chants. Soon came Carnatic music, which will be covered later. Many of these music styles were based in religion and/or aimed to enlighten and elevate the human experience. As we will see, music will become much more organized and instruments more advanced and complex. I do hope you have enjoyed this first episode. Please feel free to comment and contact me for any suggestions or things I have missed. Until then, thank you for listening, and I will see you next time.